Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Dang. What's going on, everybody? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Getting things started before we get the game news a rolling. Paste, activate. All right, all the chats that I need are ready, and we're live. Only up one. First place, please. That's great. That's great. Quimbly, good to see you this morning. I don't know why it is decided. There it is. Okay. No, we're not watching that. Quit doing that. That's for later. All right. Well, I think we're good to get started. Got quite a bit to discuss on the game news. Make sure all the channel points are channel pointed away. You gotta take it where you can. It could literally smoke at literally any sports event. You gotta take it where you can, dude. Not any. Probably not. I don't know though. All right, good morning, chat. Welcome to the stream. We've got game news live today. We are going to be talking about a handful of things. We got an update from Sony regarding Firewalk Studios, the makers of the hit game Concord. We've also got some updates from Nintendo for NSO, and they shadow dropped a game. And then Pokemon TCG Pocket. We're going to talk about that if you guys didn't forget. I didn't forget. I definitely enjoyed the notification I got on iOS this morning. So let's jump right into the game news and get started. Pokemon TCG Pocket has officially launched, and it's out on mobile stores, so iOS and Android, and that's really the only places you can get it. But it's cool. I've been seeing a lot of gameplay from some streamers who moved to New Zealand all of a sudden for the early launch, and now it's officially available worldwide. Hopefully they can immigrate back to their home countries. But this looks cool. We're going to get into this. I think after I'm done with the game news today, we're going to play this a little bit. If I have time. I should have time. But I would like to dive into this. I will get my phone all connected and stuff. That may be a Twitch-only thing. So get ready for that. But yeah, the game launched. If you've been looking forward to it, go download it. It seems like Pokemon's take on Marvel Snap. There's a lot of collection involved and a quick game, and opening packs is a big deal. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. But speaking of mobile games, we got an update on Animal Crossing Mobile. Pocket Camp Complete launches December 3rd. It is a paid-for version of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. And basically, they've done away with the existing version of Pocket Camp that had a ton of microtransactions and have replaced it with the $10 launch. Which is weird because let's look at the article from The Verge. But the final microtransaction-free version of Animal Crossing Mobile is coming to iOS and Android December 3rd. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete is set to replace the existing free-to-start version of Pocket Camp, first launched in 2017. Which is weird because, like, I didn't think people still played this. I've installed it a handful of times, but I've only played it for a little bit. But the complete version will cost $10 in the US at first, but once January 30th, 10 p.m. Pacific time rolls around, it will cost twice as much at $20. They're thinking, Nintendo's thoughts, at least I'm assuming the idea is the few people that are still playing this game will buy it at $10 on December 3rd. And then that month they will make money off of Pocket Camp Complete. Then afterwards, it'll be $20 and they might make money off of it, but they're just going to keep it up. And if you want it, it will then be more expensive, and that's it. I think they plan on making all the money they will from Pocket Camp Complete in December, because anyone that's like super into this game or wanted to get into the game but didn't like the microtransactions will get it for $20. And I think that's fine. That's okay. It's the article goes on to detail some of the stuff. They have a trailer. I was gonna watch it on stream today, but it's 12 minutes long, and I'm not gonna pay attention to that. But existing Pocket Camp players who want to port their game data over have until June 1st, 2025 to do so via a linked Nintendo account. The original app service will cease on November 28th, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So it seems anyone on the fence needs to have their save data linked and prepped for transfer before that. Nintendo has spelled out some of these details in a 12-minute video explainer, which goes over the existing features that are transferring over and what's not making the complete cut. So if there's stuff not making the cut, then why would it be complete? I mean, other than microtransactions. I don't know. Excuse me. It says, what's new for Pocket Camp Complete is the ability to play without a constant internet connection. Players will still be able to visit and trade with friends online, but the new version will be a fully offline experience if desired. Instead of premium currency of the original game, Leaf tickets, the complete version will have Leaf tokens earned by exchanging bells or completing goals. Leaf tokens will be used for buying furniture, speeding up crafting time, so it sounds like the replacement for in-game purchases may be more grinding. That's naturally what's going to happen. And for those that have a stockpile of the old Leaf tickets, know that they will not be transferred. Best to get spending before that Thanksgiving cutoff. Other big new features in Pocket Camp Complete are in-game camper cards that players can customize with their avatars and favorite in-game animals. You can create and trade the cards with other players in real life via QR codes. Collecting friends via camper cards adds their character to a new mountain location called Whistle Pass, where they may occasionally gift you items and enjoy daily musical performances from KK Slider at 7 p.m. Other members of your friends list who made the transfer to complete may also appear at Whistle Pass. I assume the others will be quietly raptured and never spoken of again. That's actually pretty funny. So you can get complete pre-ordered right now on iOS and Android. I don't know how many Animal Crossing Pocket Camp fans are on this channel, but if you're watching, you have until Thanksgiving to play the existing game and until January to get it for $10 once it launches on December 3rd. All right, let's move on. Eurogamer put this article out. Overwatch 2 will be testing the return of 6v6 next season, and Blizzard will be watching the results closely. 5v5 format tests also on the way. I don't know what tests they're going to be doing with 5v5 since the current game is 5v5, but hey, maybe we'll learn something in the article by Matt Wales. Following Blizzard's announcement earlier this year, it was considering bringing 6v6 matches to Overwatch 2, having ditched them when it transitioned from Overwatch 1 to its sequel. The studio has now made their reintroduction official. 6v6 will come to Overwatch 2 in the form of 2 test modes next season. Blizzard says it will be watching the results closely. Look, having enjoyed Overwatch 1 for many, many years, getting rid of 6v6 was weird and made the game just feel very different. It's way sweatier now, and rip to the teams who fired their 6-man base group. No, exactly that. And then on top of all that, like, it's just the 6v6 structure was way more fun. So I don't know what they're gonna do. This has like New Coke feeling all over it. Like, you guys remember when they marketed New Coke? We're all probably younger than the New Coke fiasco, but way back in the day, Coca-Cola tried to make the New Coke, and it called it New Coke, and they changed the recipe, and everybody hated it. But then they were like, all right, well, everybody hates it, let's sell them Coke Classic, and it was just the former recipe before the New Coke recipe, and everybody loved it, and Coke sales skyrocketed. This has that feeling. Hey, you hated that we got rid of 6v6. We're reintroducing it. Love us again, you know? So we'll see what happens. Let's read on. When Blizzard revealed it was mulling over 6v6's return back in July, it explained the original mode could have really high highs, but really low lows in Overwatch 1, and that 5v5 was ultimately selected for Overwatch 2 in a bid to raise that floor, even though it was at the expense of some of those high moments. However, the studio acknowledged that the changes had come at the cost of match variety and player freedom. Okay, the sentence structure was weird. However, the studio acknowledged that the changes had come at the cost of match variety and player freedom, and so it was looking at how 6v6 could potentially be reintroduced. Easily, just put them back. With all the balance changes they've done for 5v5, though, I was very curious how that's going to play out. But let's just read on a little bit more. And now, 4 months on from that announcement, Blizzard has confirmed 6v6's imminent return. In a new post on the Overwatch website, game director Aaron Keller says that the studio will be introducing 2 different 6v6 tests as part of Overwatch 2's upcoming Season 14. The first of these, set to launch a week into the season, will be a variation of the open queue, requiring each team to have at least one of each role, but no more than 3, with players able to switch roles on the fly during a match as long as the limit isn't broken. I like that. Open queue, letting me flex between, hey, we need an extra tank, or hey, do we need a DPS that can do some healing? You know, like do we need some healing DPS? Let the team figure out the team structure and not the game. I like that. That's how it used to be. Blizzard's second 6v6 test will arrive as part of Season 14's mid-season refresh, offering the classic 2-2-2 team composition while incorporating some of Overwatch 2's new principles, such as less crowd control and hero rework. Both test modes will feature rebalancing specific to 6v6, such as reduction in power and survivability of tanks, but they'll still have their own card in unranked alongside other modes. Keller says the goal of Season 14's 6v6 format tests is to understand if it can make the core game even stronger, adding that it'll be watching the reception and results of these tests closely. I don't know that I'm going to read on because I kind of got the gist of what the idea behind the tests and what they're looking for is. So what I hope and what my takeaway from them doing this is they've heard the cries for 6v6 to return. The 2-tank team structure was way more fun. An open team structure is really great, like a true no limits. Everybody be Winston and have fun and just, do stupid things on the map is also fun in like a quick play format. Keep competitive, but make it 6v6. Add those 2 extra players, to the game. It will be way more fun. I think 5v5 has a weird feel to it. The game has not felt right to me since. It's still fun to play. It's just not as fun to play. And I think it's because there are moments where, hey, the tank got melted and there's nothing we can do to survive. It's just one of those things. Anyway, if you're interested in getting into these tests, if you're interested in hoping they're bringing back 6v6, get into these tests next season for Overwatch 2. Jump in, play it a ton, give feedback, let Blizzard know. That's the only way they're going to know if this works. And they're going to look at their internal data, but I think it'll be a good time to just, make your voices heard if you want the feel of Overwatch 1 to come back. I don't know that it will with all the other changes, but I think this is a good step in the right direction. All right, let's go to our next story. Disc Edition systems make up 82% of all PS5 console sales. This is from Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Disc editions of the PS5 make up a majority of its console sales in the United States. According to the latest data from Circana, 82% of the lifetime sales of the PS5 are those with a disc drive. That puts digital-only consoles at just 18% of the total sales. I'll be honest, browsing the Facebook Marketplace and looking at my local GameStop and secondhand stores, you only ever really see the disc edition PS5, original or slim model. Having just picked up a PS5 myself, I picked up a disc edition. I want the physical media option. I want to be able to go buy, a cheap. Sony single player games go on super sale all the time physically. You see them for like $20 around the holidays for the ones that have been around a while. And it's like, okay, well, good. The store isn't going to do, like the PlayStation Network store isn't going to do that. I'm gonna have to, save money where I can, or like, why pay more? Get the disc edition. And so, like, that's good. That doesn't really surprise me all that much. Sony has made a push in recent years for players to move to the digital-only version of its system. Not only does the company charge less for a digital-only PS5, but the new PS5 Pro only comes in a digital version. In order to play discs, you'll have to buy a disc drive separately, adding more to your cost. That said, it appears that so far, at least, players are okay with spending a little extra for the option to play physical media on their console. And while the digital-only future seems likely for games, it doesn't look like gamers are ready to fully go that route yet. Yeah. I think there's no surprise there. He goes on to say, for what it's worth, September 24 saw digital PS5 sales make up 40% of new sales for the month. On the Xbox side of things, the Xbox Series X just surpassed the Series S in terms of total unit sales as of September 24. Series X has a slim 51% majority over the cheaper Series S in the US. What do you think? Okay, so anyway. So yeah, regarding the Xboxes, the Series S is an insane value for what you're getting. It's where I spend most of my time. My Series S here in the office. I'd like to get a Series X to upgrade it, just for the better performance side of things. But by and large, I play my Series S way more than my X. At least in my office, streaming content, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna play on that. Just it's easier, and I have two Xboxes because we have people in the house who play video games together, and you need two Xboxes. Anyway, regarding the PlayStation side of it, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the leading console, I guess, behind the Switch, but between Xbox and PlayStation, obviously PlayStation is doing a ton better. But to see that the difference is 82% versus 18%, people look at that $50 price difference and they're like, okay, I can pay $50 more and get a disc drive. Also, I think you see way more disc systems out in the wild than digital. I don't know if they manufacture them the same, but you see them kind of, if I'm in the store, I see the disc systems way more often. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if the digitals are just selling out that much more, or stores are only ordering a certain number of the digital only ones. That doesn't surprise me though. Like, people want discs, people want to own their stuff. Ultimately, the disc is just a license at this point. You still have to do the day one updates and everything. You're not getting that much benefit out of owning the disc, but there's something to be said about popping that disc in and enjoying it. Squid, hey, you're not late, man. You're right on time. But anyway, all right, let's move on to our next story. Ubisoft confirms that it's looking to revive the Rayman franchise. Ahmed Cheyenne over at Xputer. I haven't really used this site a whole bunch, but this is the only place I saw this article. Rayman franchise of side-scrolling action adventures has a special place in the hearts of almost everyone who's played it, including mine. The author's not mine personally. I like Rayman, but I haven't played it a bunch. To think that such a capable franchise has been left dormant for a while now, not taking into account the 2023 released spin-off, is nothing but a tragedy, but now Ubisoft may very well be changing that. Speaking of Kotaku, a Ubisoft representative has issued a statement that reignites hopes for the future on the franchise, saying that both Ubisoft Montpellier and Ubisoft Milan, though it's only Montpellier that's worked on all the mainline titles, are both looking into the revival of the Rayman brand. That was a word salad sentence. We're pleased to confirm that Ubisoft have recently started an exploration phase on the Rayman brand. Project still in early stages, and we'll share more details later. As creator of the Rayman brand, Michael Ansel is being consulted to ensure consistency within the universe. That statement is all we really need to know. Nice. But yeah, so I think it's cool that they're at least exploring it. I think this is a direct result of the hype behind Astrobot's success and release and everything else. And I can't wait to pick up Astrobot. Like, it looks so good. And then Astro's Playroom sold me on Team Asobi making a full game on it. So now I'm really pumped to play through Astrobot because it looks so great. I love the entire idea behind the game, the visuals, the music I've heard, the gameplay, like everything looks great, and the reception is phenomenal, right? Like, platformers still have a place, still really good family games, and yeah, I'm just not surprised that Ubisoft would be trying to find a way to get Rayman back in the forefront of being I guess not really the forefront. Has Rayman ever been a front runner? It's been a good game. It's a great series. It has its missteps along the way, but the Rayman Legends, this one that's in the screenshot here, this series was good. It's got 2 games, and they're really good. Rayman 4 got canceled way back. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, I really hope they can do something with it. I really hope they can bring Rayman back. I think platformers are on a slight resurgence. I don't think they'll ever be as popular as they once were, but I think we're seeing people that really like platformers get that itch scratched, which I'm one of those people. I really, really am loving it. All right, let's get to our big story here. Concord developer Firewalk Studios shut down by Sony. Kind of surprised by this, but not totally surprised by this. This was from Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Let's see. Original. Sony shutting down Firewalk Studios. The news was first broken by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, and Insider Gaming was quickly able to corroborate with sources. Man, I can't read. Curse my Louisiana education. Sony made the announcement public shortly after the news broke in a message on its official website, which I guess I'd need to pull up. I'd rather go to the official sources. Let's read the article. We consistently evaluate our games portfolio and status of our projects to ensure we are meeting near and long-term business priorities, PlayStation Studio CEO Herman Hulst said. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to 2 of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. Hulst says that over the last few months, the team at PlayStation explored all their options regarding the game. Despite those efforts, however, the decision was made to close the studio and sunset the game for good. Now, we know what happened with Concord. We don't need to necessarily dig that back up. But in the next story, well, I guess let's look at the official statement. Update. Okay, so it's just what we evaluate, refocused approach. Okay, so, got it. All right. So let's see, where were we at? Okay, sunset the game for good. After much thought, we've determined the best path forward is permanently sunset the game, close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. He continued, I know none of this is easy news to hear, particularly with colleagues and friends departing SIE. Both decisions were given serious thought, and ultimately we feel they are the right ones to strengthen the organization. Then he rehashes, Concord launched in late August to less than 1,000 players on Steam and roughly 25,000 copies sold. The game was shut down 2 weeks later with talk of a potential return as possible free-to-play shooter. Ultimately, that didn't happen and Sony has moved on. There's no mention by Sony if all employees will be let go or moved to other areas within the company. Insider Gaming has reached out to Sony for clarification on employment status for those at Firewalk Studios and Neon Koi. There have been nearly 14,000 known jobs lost to layoffs in 2024 within the games industry across nearly 160 companies. Now, this is a bummer because layoffs aren't good and shutdowns really do stink. People losing their jobs, I mean, it's a terrible situation to be in, having to hunt and find a new job. Sudden, loss of employment is never fun. And my heart goes out to people that are affected by this because it's like, hey, you worked on something, you did your best. This is unfortunate, but let's look at the realistic, reception, and the reality is Sony, I don't think could justify keeping Firewalk's doors open at this time, at all. See, this update, though, Sony's closure of Firewalk Studios and Neon Koi will result in 210 people being let go in total. Firewalk sees 172 people lose their jobs, while Neon Koi is another 38. I don't know what Neon Koi worked on. The name is not familiar to me. I might be missing out on something. But, yeah, I am... The reason I'm a little surprised by this is because I felt like Sony might have been able to work out some kind of way for Firewalk to put a little effort into making the game free to play, free to start, doing something that could maybe reignite people's interest in the game. But I think it was too little too late, and the effort needed to make it really good, or at least there's no way to get rid of the stink of how it launched and still make it good. That would have increased the cost. Which, speaking of costs, in this other article from Twisted Voxel, Concord had an initial budget of $200 million, but required more funding to finish it. So think about that. Sony spent $200 million kind of up front to get the game created, and then they needed we've heard the $400 million number being thrown around, and it's been reported that, read the article, it's been reported that as per two sources familiar with the agreement, the original development budget for Concord was slightly above $200 million. However, this amount did not cover the full development costs and excluded the purchase of the Concord IP rights and Firewalk Studios, which Sony Interactive Entertainment completed just last year. The aforementioned studios were not authorized to speak publicly about this information, and they have therefore chosen to remain anonymous. So it's interesting. Neither source appeared to have offered a concrete figure regarding the full development cost, though a rumor suggested it may have been as high as $400 million. During a recent episode of Sacred Symbols podcast, host Colin Moriarty mentioned that an individual who worked on Concord reached out to him and told him the game cost Sony around $4 million to make. The hero shooter had entered alpha state in the first quarter of 2023. This before Sony acquired developer Firewalk Studios. Up until that point, studio had already spent around $200 million on the game. This figure is in line with more recent information. Moriarty revealed that from the point of Concord being in alpha state up until its launch, Sony had spent an additional $200 million on the game, bringing the total investment to $400 million. According to a source, the game was in a laughable state when it was in alpha, which is why Sony felt the need to make the additional investment in order to get it to the minimum viability. Major expense was having to outsource development to other studios in order to finish the project. According to him, two fundamental areas, namely onboarding and monetization, were not worked on at all. So, knowing that, Sony had upfronted $200 million on a new IP, which is a huge risk. There's no guarantee, right? There is no guarantee that this was going to return on their investment. But Sony was also making big commitments to multiplayer and live service games, right? So that being said, when they get to the alpha state of the game and it's like, hey, we need more money, and Sony going, all right, we can do it. You know, I feel like Sony believed in the game, but it makes you wonder what happened during development. What happened that they spent $400 million and couldn't break, you know, really 1,000, what they have, like 700 players on Steam. And this was marketed, you know, pretty poorly too. I feel like marketing was not a priority. That first trailer they showed, it was like, ooh, what is wait, what is going on? Like, that was the feeling I had. So then it launches, and it's like nobody knows what this is except from like one trailer, maybe two, and then those trailers weren't very good. They didn't communicate the game very clearly, and then you get this Overwatch feel from it, and it's like, but we already have Overwatch, and it's free, you know. And so I just think this is a classic case of over-promising, under-delivering, and Sony basically taking the brunt of the risk with their investment and their dollars. So it's no surprise that they went, okay, look, we can't salvage the game. We got to shut it down. It's done. Let's revisit it. Oh, look, we spent all this money. If we give you more money and it still doesn't pan out, you know, you're pushing half a billion on a game that didn't work. So, yeah, Squid, I thought it was some indie game beta while it was launched. Yeah, when they first showed the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks like an interesting story. I'm not digging the character designs just all around, but the universe looks neat. And then they show the gameplay, and I was just like, oh, never mind. It's a hero shooter. And I don't mind. I love Overwatch, but I don't know. I think $40 for a hero shooter in a world where a lot of shooters have gone free to play with super duper scummy monetization. You know, you got to stay competitive, and they maybe could have made it free to play. I just don't think it would have worked. I think the stink that was on the launch of this game is not something that could get washed off with a new coat of paint or a new free to play system. So it really stinks. Again, heart goes out to all the devs that worked on this game. I understand, you know, losing your job's never easy. And hopefully you guys learn from the experience and make something better wherever you land. You know, whatever you end up doing. But yeah, this should serve as a good case study for game development, though. I think the more we learn about this, the better the industry could be. I legitimately think that. I think that if the leadership and everybody at Firewalk wants to talk about this, the better the industry could be. I think it would just do wonders. We all could learn from it. All right. Well, let's move down the list. Speaking of scummy monetization earlier, Fortnite, Epic Games, has announced a new way to progress your battle passes. So if you're not familiar, I play a lot of Fortnite on this channel, so I felt like this was worth talking about. But right now, you can play Classic Fortnite, Fortnite Festival, which is Rock Band, and Lego Fortnite, which is Minecraft. And all these experiences here, have separate like battle passes that require you to level up things individually. There's like separate seasons and stuff going on. Well, now they go on to announce that by December 1st, all passes in Fortnite will progress simultaneously by earning XP from playing any experience. So this is great. The Battle Royale Pass currently levels from XP gained in any experience. The next pass to get this treatment will be the upcoming Music Pass, formerly known as the Festival Pass. The Music Pass will also progress from XP gained from any source starting on November 2nd with the Fortnite Festival Season 6 and the next season of Fortnite Battle Royale. On December 1st, the change will also be applied to the Brick or Treat Lego Pass, which is great. The Lego Pass being part of the main like experience gain is great. Because some of those Lego challenges, I'm like, I didn't do them. Also, this change comes at a time, if you guys did the summer Lego Pass with the Lost Isles expansion that they did for Lego Fortnite, most everybody could not finish that pass. They were shorted like a week and a half of playtime. But it was so bad that the last like 3 days that we had, which was the last week, quotes, the last 3 days, they gifted everybody like 2,000 studs is what they are in Lego terms. But they gifted everybody 2,000 of those to just bump everybody up like to the next tier, which finished it out for me and a ton of other people that were very close. So they had internal data that showed people were getting really like close on some of these, but they didn't have enough time to finish it. But Battle Royale, now that you can play, like I've been playing Lego Fortnite, but getting my Battle Royale pass leveled up. Now that works just across the board, that's gonna work so much better for people that don't really play the Lego side of it, but maybe they want to, you know. But then it's like, what? I didn't get this thing, or you know, there's no point because I don't play it enough. Same thing with Festival and the Music Pass and everything. Maybe you don't play it all that much, you know. I'm surprised Rocket Racing doesn't have a pass in here. It's just been kind of lumped in with the regular Fortnite Battle Pass. But even then, they haven't put any cars or anything in it. That first season they did the cars and Rocket Racing. They had a ton of stuff. And then since then, they haven't. So I wonder if they're going to do a separate pass there. But if every experience has its own like Battle Pass and things like that, it's going to be interesting to see. The article goes on to say, as you progress through Battle Pass tiers of XP, you'll be able to claim rewards on the unlocked pages of each active pass you have. Rewards may be claimed in non-sequential order on all passes in the same way you can with the Battle Pass now. You'll also be able to set each pass to auto-claim the next reward when it becomes available to you. I like that change because often I'll forget, and I'm like, oh, I need to do it, and then I'll forget, and I need to do it, and then, yeah, it's just a cycle that goes on and on forever. To simplify things, once all battle passes progress using XP, we'll be retiring festival points on November 2nd, followed by battle stars and studs on December 1st, which is also great. It's all just XP driven. Once these earned currencies are retired, Battle Pass, Music Pass, Lego Pass will simply unlock rewards for you to claim as you earn XP. You still need to purchase the passes separately, but you only have to play one thing, and I think that's awesome. It's a nice little update to make playing any mode in Fortnite worthwhile across the board. I think it's cool. All right, last week, Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is a terrible title, but anyway, launched, and, well, I guess it was earlier this week. No, it was last week. And sales topped 1 million. And that is insane to me because this is a re-release with bonus content when you look at it. But I guess Shadow is strong enough on his own to sell a remake with new content. But yeah, I'm not gonna dive too much into this. I mean, the headline says it all. This is from Gematsu. But Sonic X Shadow Generation sales top 1 million, which is cool. I haven't picked up the game yet. I'm so behind on Sonic games. I still haven't picked up the last one that came out. Was that Sonic Superstars, the side-scrolling one? I just think it's great. Sega has done some really good jobs with recent releases. Metaphor Refantazio, yeah, most Sega games top 1 million in a week now. It's just nice to see, like, the last few Sonic games that have come out have done pretty well. Frontiers is really good. I really, really loved that game. I need to pick this one up. I loved playing Sonic Generations when it launched, and playing it on the Series X through backwards compatibility was awesome. But I need to pick this up. I'd like to do the Shadow Story stuff, and that's just awesome. Oh, Persona 3 Reload was 10 million a week. I did not know that, Squid. That's awesome. All right, let's go to our next story. Let's talk about Nintendo. Let's start with the bad news. Nintendo subsidiary reportedly hit with layoffs. A well-known Nintendo subsidiary is the latest in the games industry to be hit with layoffs, according to Japanese outlet Leak Press. Mario Club Limited is letting go over 100 employees. The report claims that roughly 150 of the 400 employees at the company are being laid off. They also say that layoffs are happening to various groups within the company, and it's not targeting a single set of people. Conditions for the layoffs are also listed via the outlet and include employees who cause trouble as well as those who drag their colleagues down. That makes me laugh. It's like the squeaky wheel gets the layoff, basically. Hey, are you complaining? Are you complaining to your colleagues and not actually productive? You're out of here. Mario Club Limited is a debugging subsidiary in Japan. The company is known for providing quality control for Nintendo while also testing and debugging Nintendo first-party software. I did not know that. I always see Mario Club Limited in the credits of Nintendo games. Never really questioned what it is or what it was for, but yeah, so QA, debugging, super cool. To learn what they are, the layoffs are not super cool, and I'm super disappointed to see yet more layoffs. This time Nintendo affected. Japanese law is different for layoffs, if I'm remembering this correctly. We learned about this some time ago, that just firing people in Japan is a lot harder than in the US. And so for this to happen, some serious decisions were made, and they've probably had to. That's probably why they have to specify employees who cause trouble and those who drag their colleagues down as reasons for being laid off. So, again, I hope these people can find jobs and land on their feet, whatever they're doing. My heart goes out to them. But hey, you know what? Maybe don't cause trouble or drag your colleagues down, to quote the article for the third or fourth time. It's funny to me because so many offices, and maybe it's a worldwide thing, but I know in the U.S. so many offices have the Karen, and then what's the male name for Karen? Is it just Kyle? Either way, you have those people in offices. All they do is whine and complain or make you feel like you just don't want to be there. And it's not a uniquely American thing. You just have people that are just negative all the time. Anyway, let's get off of this. Let's see. Oh, Nintendo of America on X. Shadow Man and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil are playable as part of the Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online, Mature 17 Plus collection of games. They really need to work on the titles for these things. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Shadow Man and Turok 2, which I think have remastered ports on the Switch. I know Turok had a whole thing where they re-released the game, ported it to Switch natively, and it's not an emulated version of the N64. But neat that you can play the original experiences for these. I don't know if I would ever do it. I think I have the Mature Collection downloaded, but it's 4 games now. Now it's maybe 6 games with these two. I don't know. I don't know enough. But interesting nonetheless. And then our last bit of news, Nintendo just shadow drops the trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Let's watch it together. It's crazy. It's one of the last Wii U games I expected them to port, but it's good to see.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But Like it or not, this place is our home now. We took the name from the city it was modeled after back on Earth. We call it New Los Angeles. Welcome to NLA.
Ooh, that framey pan was weird.
And so it was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira, come what may. New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves.
I know nothing about the story to this game or any of the Xenoblade games. I just want to play them.
Heading into the unknown.
And the mechs look cool. Like, this is a mech suit game, and I'm cool with that.
Native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
Super cool to see that this is coming out on the Switch. Where's your shirt?
Fancy seeing you here.
What is this, Kingdom Hearts? March 20th. So, okay, what I find interesting about this date is we were kind of expecting Nintendo to have announced the Switch 2 release date, at least revealed the Switch 2 by now. And then now we're kind of expecting it to launch in March. Will it? It's very interesting. I think the Switch 2 may not be that springtime launch we were looking for, but I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Anyway, guys, that does it for the game news. What do you guys think of this story? Any of these stories we covered? Let me know. If you're watching this after it's been live, I appreciate you checking out the video and being here. Your support means a lot to me. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments, in chat. Leave a like on the video if you liked it on YouTube or Rumble. And if you didn't like it, also dislike. Those are helpful too. Let me know what you didn't like. If it was too rambly, feedback is good. But anyway, that's it for the game news. I'm done. I think we'll just transition over to Twitch only for the remainder of the stream. I'm going to check out Pokemon TCG Pocket. So if you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, or X, hop over to Twitch and we'll hang out a minute there. The rest of you have a great day, and I'll catch you later.